Hello, booktubers and everyone else. It's JD again, and today I thought I would talk a bit about rereading books. In fact, I think I've only reread one book ever. That's not a lot, is it? Uh, but there are a few that I would like to reread. The only one I have reread so far is Macbeth. Yeah, just Shakespeare, and it doesn't take long to read. So I'm not sure if that really counts, but I guess it does. Anyways, let's take a look at the books I would like to reread. Going in chronological order, the first book that I read that I would like to reread is The Hobbit. I have read Lord of the Rings more recently, and I'm not really interested in rereading that yet. I think it's too soon, even though it's been 15 years. But The Hobbit I read in junior high school. It's been more than 25 years since I've read it. And I'd like to read it again. My memory of it is that it was a lot of fun to read, and it is what got me into fantasy. So definitely must reread that one. The second one I'd like to reread is The Chrysalids by John Wyndham. This book I read in high school for English class, and I found it to be quite an interesting book at that time. It's not a very new book, it's fairly old. I guess you can call it a classic. But it's about a can I say that? Post-apocalyptic world. I believe it's Eastern North America. I think it may have been Eastern Canada. And there are a lot of people who have genetic mutations, and they're being basically they're being forced out of their communities or killed. Yeah, it sounds pretty dark, doesn't it? But we read it in school. But I'd like to reread that one again. That would be an interesting one. Up next is Jurassic Park. I've already talked about this one in a previous video. It was probably what really got me into reading science fiction novels. And of course, I love dinosaurs. You can't go wrong with dinosaurs. But the book was really fun. Very good story. Better than the movie, which, if you've watched my books versus movies video, then you'd know that. In university, I started reading the Pern series by Anne McCaffrey, and it's been quite some time since I've read any of the books, and I would love to get back into them. I've read almost all of them. I didn't read the last couple ones that she co-wrote with her son. I haven't read any of her sons either, but I'd like to read them too. But I would like to go way back to the beginning, back to the first book that she wrote. Now, when I read this series, I read it in chronological order, not in written order. So I'd like to try it in written order this time. I love the series. This is probably the series that got me into reading a lot. And I spent so much time reading those books in university. Probably the fastest I ever went through a novel was, I can't remember the title right now, but it was a set of 4 stories. I will just put something in the annotations to let you know which book it was. And yeah, I'd love to read this whole thing again. It was a lot of fun. And the final series I would like to reread is Terry Brooks' Shannara series. I'm still reading it though. There's still new books coming out. I haven't read the latest ones. I haven't read Genesis of Shannara or any of the books after that. But just like Pern, no, actually not like Pern. This one I was reading in publishing order. I would like to go through it in chronological order. So I've already read The Word and Void. Next up is Genesis of Shannara, and then I'd have to go on to the next series, and then I'd go on to the First King, and so on. I'd like to do that in chronological order. I think that would be a lot of fun. So there you have it. Those are the books I would like to reread. Usually I don't like to reread things if I've read them within the past 5 years. Harry Potter is getting there. I may want to reread that in the next 5 years. But it's one of the more recent series I've read. But I'd like you to tell me what books or series you would like to reread in the comments below. And also, please subscribe and click on the thumbs up. And if you'd like to support my future videos and writing, please go to my Patreon page. And you can find the link to that in the description box below or under the I in the top right-hand corner. Thank you for watching.